For some people, myself included, transformation occurs more at an internal level than externally. The transformation isn't acquired by money, it's not an asset, it's not tangible, it can't be measured physically, right? It's not based on how much more money you've made or what job you've gotten or your promotion or your new house or your new car or anything like that. It's not always visible. Internal transformation occurs at a core level. It occurs when you do the inner work, when you grow at a soul level. The external transformation comes later, and even then, when it comes later, it can look look in a different way or appear differently from the norm. Whereas the masses, most people probably won't even understand it, but you will, right? And whoever will understand it will understand it. But it's not about that. When you're called, or when you have a calling to transform more internally than externally, it is not an easy path. It's not easy, and it is one that requires you to lead with the inner work. There's no shortcuts or sidestepping or anything like that. So again, I'm speaking from experience, right? And so this might show up in your natal chart. I'm just going to touch on this if you have your Jupiter retrograde in your natal chart. I have that. Another placement that that just speaks to the craziness that I have come into this lifetime with. But just to touch on your having a natal Jupiter in retrograde in your chart, and this is not limit. This isn't being someone who does more internal transformation than external is not just limited to having your natal Jupiter retrograde. Okay, this is not limited to that. So there are other aspects and other areas that can determine this, right? This is a soul calling. But having your natal Jupiter retrograde, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's the planet of luck and abundance. It's also the planet of like beliefs and philosophies and study and all of that, ideologies. And so when Jupiter is direct, right, you naturally attract luck or abundance and opportunities, growth and expansion, right? Those things come, you'll see them externally or they come to you, right? But when a planet is retrograde, it turns the energy inward, just like Mercury retrograde, right? Mercury, the planet of communication and whatnot, when it goes retrograde, communication gets, is interfered with, things are different. So the planet of Jupiter, when it's retrograde, that abundance and that luck and that expansion doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside. You have to create it. You have to do the work to bring about that luck and expansion and that abundance. There's a lot of like undoing beliefs, or even like you might find that you're like creating your own belief systems, or like you will deviate from what you were born into, and you might acquire different knowledge. Other things resonate with you than what you have learned. You come to kind of just like be your own person, your own philosopher, and you have to again do the work to create that abundance in your life, you have to expand internally for it to reflect externally. So I wrote down, hope that all makes sense. Communication wise for me, so I do a lot of introspection and reflection, very, very reflective. It's part of my makeup. And so I'm very in tuned with like things about myself, and I'm constantly just like learning things about myself. But I say all that to say, just to let you know a bit about my communication style. So my Mercury is in Aquarius. My natal Mercury is in the sign of Aquarius. And so I have a lot that goes through my head. There's a lot of information that I have and that I gather. And sometimes it moves so quickly that it moves faster than I can speak and articulate it. But then in addition to that, the earth energy in my chart, it brings about a very grounding and slow pace when it comes to communicating as well, just like my overall energy. But speaking about communicating, I really take my time I try to stop and think before I speak. And so, but sometimes it can be a bit much with the Mercury in Aquarius because there's so much going on. But that's just to let you know a bit about how I communicate. I'm just a slow, thorough speaker. But communication also is something that I'm meant to heal in this lifetime. It also connects to my Chiron energy and like being silenced in a past life, having to learn to vocalize myself and speak up. I experienced that a lot. I wasn't silenced in this lifetime, but definitely in a past lifetime. But it played out, I remember, from my childhood. My dad would always encourage me to speak up. It was like I would be afraid to speak. I was shy and all of that. The shyness isn't there now as an adult, but still, I'm still finding my voice where I would have a lot to say, but I kind of, pull back. And so I'm meant to work through that. So that being said, I wrote down some ways that internal transformation can play out, right? And this is not a limited list, but it can go on and on. These are just some ways that internal transformation can play out that I came up with. So, gaining self-awareness, learning your flaws, your faults, your shortcomings, learning them and actually facing them and actually taking the steps to improve them, not spiritual bypassing or not trying to avoid them or cut corners or anything. Healing your wounds. And that's wounds from this lifetime, from past lifetimes, and even through your bloodline, because wounds and unhealed trauma, all of that is passed down, right? Through our lineage. Making better choices. That's another thing that can come up with internal transformation. Sorry, I think there's some hair in my mouth. Ego deaths. We're always, ego deaths are non-negotiable. They're always happening. The more you release, the more you surrender, the more you ascend, you are shedding your ego. Regulating your nervous system. This can be a big one, especially for fellow highly sensitive people, empaths, sensitive souls, those of us really in tune with the spiritual realm, and those of us who, are really in tune with the energies around us. keeping our nervous system in check, excuse me, accepting your spiritual gifts and using them, whether it's your psychic gifts or your ability to heal with touch, with herbs, with plant medicine. I know that's herbs, but whatever it is, right? There's so many different healing modalities. Whether your spiritual gift is astrology, numerology, whatever it is, right? The endless list. Being a psychic, a medium. Releasing your vices, whatever your vices are. Overcoming alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling. That's just a few. Those are just the common ones that came to mind, but it could be anything. You could have a food addiction. You could be addicted to work. Whatever it is. Following the voice of your soul. Following the voice of your soul. And improving your emotional intelligence. That's a big one too. And ultimately just going deeper and deeper, just constantly diving deep and doing the work to discover and unfold, bring it all out and have it evolve. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there.